Happy Sunday. We're back. It's so funny saying that because obviously when I'm recording this, it's not Sunday. Today is actually Thursday, and we're having a very gloomy first kind of fall day here in New York City, which I'm loving. I could have definitely been in sweatpants today, but it's fine. Here we are. Um, so happy to be back. I just want to say too that I find so much joy in doing this, and thank you for listening. This truly, I didn't think that like sitting here and talking and yapping away would bring me so much joy, but it really has. So, thank you so much for your support, and I really appreciate it. This week, I'm exhausted just thinking about it. This weekend, I have a very, very busy social calendar. So tonight is Thursday. And wait, and all of these events are happening past 8 p.m., which luckily for these people, that these events are for. I love them and I will do anything for them. So, yes, I will leave my house past 8 p.m. So, tonight is a going away drinks for one of my friends. Tomorrow is a birthday drinks for a friend. Saturday is a birthday dinner. Saturday later after that dinner, whoa, two events in one day, crazy for me, is a going away party. And then I gave myself Sunday, the day off, to rest and recover from that chaos. And then Monday, I have a dinner. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like we're just gonna leave it open because I fear that I'm gonna need a lot of time to recover from that. But I am very excited to get together with all my friends and celebrate birthdays and accomplishments and all the things. So this week, I want to talk a little bit about careers and the idea of, going after what you want and pursuing something that you love and kind of all of the mental chaos that that can bring. So, first things first, I want to start this episode by just telling everyone, give yourself a pat on the back. We're all doing a great job. Whatever it is, you're doing a great job. I feel like sometimes when good things happen in our lives, that usually leads to more planning or the good kind of chaos, right? You get a promotion, or you have to move for something, or you sign a contract, or you launch a business. That's all so exciting, but it usually requires you to start, as soon as it's signed, as soon as the email is sent, planning mode. We go into like, oh, we're doing this now, so we got to strap in and get going. But I think sometimes we forget to take a second and just sit back and be like, hey, whoa, I just launched that, or I just got a promotion. Can I take a second and celebrate this? So take a second, celebrate yourself. You got this. Now let's start the pod. Let's start first with the whole idea that usually this only happens when you're pursuing something that you is a little risky, right? Usually it's something that you love that maybe you shouldn't be doing. People say, what's your plan B? What's your plan B? What is your plan B? That to me is the most annoying question you can ask someone, because here's the thing. People say, if plan A doesn't work, then you go to plan B, right? But plan A will work. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm choosing to go with plan A, because I know in my soul and in my work ethic that it's going to work. There's no other option. But I will say, and I've come to understand this recently, to me, the idea of having a plan B in a weird way motivates me and gives me the confidence to go after what I truly want to do. Because if I'm going after what I truly want to do and it doesn't work out, then okay, my plan B is just like moving somewhere random and doing something else. So when I think about that, I'm like, oh, if none of this works out and it all ends very, very badly, I can just go move to the middle of nowhere and do something else. And I'm going to be okay because I'm going to be okay in whatever I do, wherever I am. So, in a weird way, I'm like, well, if it doesn't work, who cares? But I need to try. I need to go after it and do something about it because then, you know, who cares if it doesn't work out? I think it comes from this idea that, obviously we know if you're just wishing and hoping things to happen, it's not going to happen, right? We're all into manifesting. I love to manifest, but it's on you. There's only rare circumstances where people will come find you, right? It's on you to put yourself out there. If you want it, go get it. If you want it, go get it. My dad always says, if you play in traffic, you're bound to get hit, which, whoa, but is so true, right? If you keep putting yourself out there in all the ways that you possibly can, something's bound to land or hit you eventually, right? So you have to ask yourself, am I putting myself out there enough to get what I want? I think it's very easy for us to kind of settle in a routine and we do this and we do this, but take a second and sit back and reflect on where you are currently and where you want to be. Are the steps that you're taking now aligning with where you want to be? Are you putting yourself out there enough in the right rooms, meeting the right people to end up where you want to be? Ask yourself. And I've learned that you have to take the personal out of it. It truly is just business, even if you are your own business, right? I have to learn how to put on Presley, the person persona, and Presley, the business persona, because if someone tells me no, then I don't take it personally. And if I'm putting myself out there and it's like uncomfortable and I don't know about it, it's not me personally, it's business Presley. And I think that's helped me so much, especially when I've been doing a lot of cold emails and really just going and sending out an email to whoever I would want to work for one day. And I think a majority of those emails end up in no response or end up in, oh, sorry, we don't need you. The team is full, which, hey, you got a response. To me, that's a win. But in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. Now I have your email. So you're going to hear from me again next year and the year after and the year after until you hire me. But, and I think this is the Leo in me, if I get a no or if I get a no response, I'm like, okay, one day you're going to beg for me to come work for you. You are going to beg and you are going to regret not responding to my email and not giving me a chance. When you go to email me my offer, my contract, and you see that I've emailed you 5 times over the past 5 years, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, because then I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, no, I don't want to work for you because you didn't believe in me. No, just kidding. I probably will be like, oh my gosh, yes, thank you so much, finally. But, even when someone says no, you're still putting yourself out there and that's still a win. There was someone that we'll just say that it's a company that I reached out to that I would have loved to be a part of their team. I emailed them and they emailed me back and they said, oh my gosh, perfect. Fill out this information, send this. We want to hear basically like your takes on this. I had to write some things, yada, yada, whatever. I sent that in and they said, great, got it. We'll review, get back to you, whatever. So then the job comes around that I pitched myself for and I saw who they hired. And I said, oh, okay, so you hired someone. Great. Would have loved to know that. But again, that's the world we live in. And I said, oh, okay, you hired that person. Interesting choice. Okay. So then about a month later, I receive an email from them and I'm like, it's me, it's now, it's my time. They were asking me for a donation. I somehow, I guess, am now on their email list and they wanted a donation. And I said, when I work for you one day, yes, I will happily write a check. Okay. I love to donate to things, but the fact that you're, granted, I was probably on an automatic list or like automated email list, but I was like, no. And I'm not gonna give you money just to be like, oh, well, maybe they'll see my donation and like maybe hire me. No, no. Like one day when you hire me, I will like, cut you a cute check. But until then, no. When you are emailing all these people, you're cold emailing, you're putting yourself out there, you're talking yourself up, you're making sure your name is getting in the right rooms. You have to be able to deliver, because if they hire you based off of the way that you pitch yourself and you don't deliver, that is bad. That is very bad. So I just want all of us to check in to make sure, I'm all here for the cold emailing, cold calling, putting yourself out there, but you need to make sure that you can deliver and you need to put in the work to make sure that you can. So I think when it comes to starting something new, a new business, new show, new whatever, what I've realized, especially with this, because this show is very vulnerable. I'm putting videos of me talking online, and I realize that your desire and motivation and your passion for the success of the business has to be greater than your fear of what people might say or what you think other people are going to have certain opinions on, right? So your passion and your persistence in what your idea could be has to be greater than your fear of judgment from others. And I think that's so true, especially in the early days when you come up with the idea, right? So I came up with this idea. There wasn't a time where I said, "Oh, what are people going to think about it?" or what if people talk negatively about it, or talk about me behind my back, whatever, because I saw the vision for this and I saw the end goal and I saw where I wanted it to be, and I was so excited, and still am obviously excited and passionate about it, and I enjoy doing it, that I truly don't care what anyone thinks or says, because I'm excited about it and I want it. I think when you're starting something new, it literally takes one person to just say, "You're good at this. Keep going." There was someone that randomly commented on one of my videos, and someone that's not in my immediate circle or anything, and just seeing their comment that said that, this was entertaining and whatever they said, I was like, "Oh, cool. Okay, I'm definitely doing something right." Because all of my friends have been so supportive and they watch and they subscribe. But to get someone that's not in your immediate group to say, "Oh, you're good at this," golden. I also think you need the support of your friends and good people, whoever that is, family, but good people in your corner to, one, help you with feedback, and you need to be open to receiving feedback from them. But two, you can ask them honest questions like, "Hey, this is my business. If you weren't my friend, would you be a client?" And that's what I had to ask my parents when I started my business. Would you have been a client? You've been supportive and you've been cheering me on, but would you have signed up? Honestly, please tell me. And they said yes. And I said, great. That's all I needed to hear. Now let's go. I think too, you can't expect anything to happen right away. Nowadays, we want that instant gratification. We want everything now, now, now. But they say with entrepreneurs and anybody that's, exactly entrepreneur starting their own thing, it takes about 3 years to really see some results. So when you're starting this thing, you need to ask yourself and make sure that you're committed to it for at least 3 years. Can you give If it's something that you're really passionate about and you really want to do, can you give 3 years of your life to this? And then from there, if you're not liking it anymore or if it's really not succeeding, then maybe you can say, you know what, let's pivot or let's try something else. But you can't give it just a month and say, oh, well, we never got a million views or I didn't get 10,000 clients. Boo, I'm going to quit. No, you have to keep putting yourself out there and trust in your work ethic and the mission of your business that you're going to succeed. Whenever I have started anything, I don't start it with the idea of, oh, I can't wait for this to be successful right away. In my head, even with this, with my other business, with my career, in my head, always say, if I start now, imagine where it could be in 5 years. If I start now, just imagine where it could be in 7 years. So you have to think about that long game, right? If you're listening to this and there's something that you've been kind of thinking about, you want to do, etc., you need to ask yourself, this sounds a little intense, but honestly, trust me, it will help because it's helped me a lot with some of my decisions. If you're on your deathbed, are you going to regret not trying? Are you going to regret that you tried and you happen to fail? And that's okay. Every time my answer is, I'm going to regret not trying or not putting myself out there. So ask yourself that, right? Like if it was your time, unfortunately, would you regret not starting the thing that's been in the back of your head for the past years, months, etc.? If you're listening to this and you're not currently where you want to be job wise, you're not at the end goal, that's totally fine because you're on your way, right? So, how can you reframe your current outlook on your job to make you see the bigger picture and make you see this as a stepping stone to get you to where you want to be? You need to be the best at anything you do. Always putting your best foot forward, always bringing your best work ethic. Right now, if you're working somewhere just to make extra money, be the best at that job. Let it fuel your purpose. Take a step back and see the bigger picture of where you currently are and how it can help you get to where you want to be. And you need to change your outlook on, rather than just going into this job miserable every day, change the outlook and say, you know what? This isn't where I want to be, but this is fueling my purpose or it's giving me the money to get where I want to go. So I need to turn that frown upside down ASAP and walk into this with a much better energy because you're going to get that good energy back. I promise. When I first moved to New York, I worked at a fitness studio. I worked at the front desk. And was it my favorite? No. Was it my end goal? No. But I said to myself every day, I'm working here so that I can live in New York and I can make the money to learn how to do the thing that I want to do and pursue my other dreams. I was in an environment where I was surrounded by motivated, fit people versus, the opposite. That would have been very draining. And I said, I can work out for free and I'm saving money. And this is helping me fuel the fire of getting to my bigger goal. And that made me more excited to walk into work every day. Lastly, when it comes to failure and the idea of failure, those thoughts are going to creep in anything that you do with starting something new, right? You have to accept it, accept that that's a possibility, or accept that there's something out of your control that could cause that to become a reality. You're going to fail at some point. Trust, trust. So you need to relearn how to interpret failure. You need to rewire your brain to see failure as a little cue that you're close. You're close to the goal, but something was off. Look at your work again. Look at where you were putting the energy. Look at working smarter versus harder, right? Learning to accept failure as a cue that something could have gone better, but understanding that you didn't fail because it was your lack of skills to get the job done or your lack of ability to succeed, right? When something happens that goes not your way, that is a perfect moment of self reflection to analyze that situation and say, was there something else that I could have done differently? Was that failure truly on me? Could I have prepped more? Could I have put in more work? But you need to understand and rewire your brain that it's not just because you failed because it's you. You did not fail because it's who you are, or your lack of being able to get the job done. I also want to say that whatever you want to do or whatever you see yourself doing, just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect in the beginning, but you just have to start. And again, who knows where it could be in 5 years. But if you don't start, then you'll never know. So I'm telling you right now, please just start. Just start. So happy Sunday. I get a little passionate about those things. So I'm hoping that that landed and maybe was like a good little motivator to get some things done this week and go after what we want. So have the best week, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.